Everybody, and welcome back to another match day here in the Spring Series Fortnite competition. It's me, 22, accompanied by the one and only Visible. Visible, as this competition is starting, please tell me how you're doing.
Doing great. It's another fantastic weekend here at the AEA, and we get some more Fortnite action coming our way. Some really talented young players.
Yeah, right now we're hanging out with OG Leon and 2AM Clouds, who, as you can see, this game a little bit underway here as we are tuning in. OG Leon already has 2 eliminations under the belt, so getting started very, very quickly. We saw some eliminations pop up in the kill feed there as well, so we'll kind of move around. We got Void, Terminal, and J Strikers, and of course Visible, hopefully helping us out here with the rosters today. But of course, at this point in the season, we're kind of getting a little familiar with them as well.
So, yeah, we've seen some great action from all the teams, and we'll have the rosters ready and available here soon. Action's coming our way too, and oh my God! Speaking of coming our way, jumping into frame just then. A pink power puff gets dropped instantly.
Yes, I have to assume a little bit of a visual bug with them being knocked there. It looked like they were still standing, but one player must still be alive from that duo. I actually missed the username. Here's an escape attempt. J Strikers has them in the crosshairs. Void Terminal as well, and they're actually looking to catch up with this player who's looking to evade right now, breaking some of the mats, but it looks like Visible, they might have cut some distance off, and the duo has rebooted as well. You got to keep that in mind with this reload game mode. If you take too long to clear out that duo, then the original person you knocked is going to be right back up, dropping from the sky. So no points there, no additional points there for J Strikers or Void Terminal. We'll have to see if they're able to maybe get that lick back later. Right now we're with Roy Main and Neos. This is of course our Yarks Fortniters, and they are prowling. I don't think the other duo is aware of their position. Roy Main there on the outline. Look at that, Visible! A one-tap knock here. Gonna go ahead and get the full confirm. An incredible way to start this round for Neos, who's looking to clean up the rest of this duo.
Beautiful shots there, and so far the Spectator doing wonders for us, actually coming through, and we're able to see it. So every now and then, you know, with a Fortnite can run a little bit of interference, but we got a really nice view of that one. Really, we did clean kill. And Neos, it's one of many from Neos and Roy Main.
That's true. Yeah, I think our Spectator bug where they don't sit down after getting knocked, that looks like that might be here to stay for today. But, you know, we did get to see, that was in Valorant, I think we'd call that something like trigger control, but really it applies here as well. Just good trigger control, waiting for that optimal opportunity, the timing there to engage. And now timing is everything as Neos is looking to get further into the fight. Not quite finding the opening yet, but staying healthy, staying within boxes that they control. All good fundamental Fortnite taking place.
Yeah, and you know, do they spawn with full resources in this mode?
Not full resources. So on the initial drop, it's just exactly identical to a Battle Royale situation where they don't have any loot, except for the loot that is available to them. It's a bit accelerated. They're going to come into some better items a little bit earlier and more consistently than you might in a traditional Battle Royale. And they're using those items well. We can see some nice shots landing here from Roy Main. And Neos has the high ground position as well. So this Yarks Fortniters duo, Surgical, looking to take a tactical engage. Haven't quite found it yet, but they're getting good damage out. Visible, the point I didn't get to say is if you do go for that reload, if you get knocked and you get the reload, you get some items to play with on that respawn. So you're not left entirely empty-handed. Looking for the shots there. Does get the knock onto TikTok Domain and Visible. What a massive elimination that is. That is TikTok Domain of the Carolina Storm Academy roster. Currently our first seeded roster coming into today's match. So what a phenomenal time to get them knocked out. I don't know if that's the full knock though, so the pressure's still on for the Fortniters.
Yeah, that was fantastic play there, and Fortniters putting on a show as they always do. Has a great positioning here. Oh my goodness, gets lit up, and probably a little bit of delay on some of the damage, or just simply got lit up. But one of the two has a player on their team, and I don't know where exactly Neos is, but they're not playing right on top of each other, are they? So they're gonna
They're
have a little bit
split.
of difficulty.
But, you know, I think the Fortniters do the split position well, right? As long as they don't get third party, that I think is the weakness of this strategy. Right now they have this, you know, this dual position that they're able to apply pressure from multiple angles, and I think it's really strong when done correctly, which is something that the Fortniters are certainly capable of. That being said, I'm trying to get the full read on it because we saw that TikTok Domain 2X was eliminated previously, but I think that was his reboot, which would mean that Carolina Storm Academy, they're still alive and kicking, and that might be a missed opportunity for the Fortniters. So we're going to have to see. It looks like a few teams are certainly involved in the skirmish. I want to bounce around, but I'm just waiting. I know Royman's going to hit a big shot, and there's a couple of nice shots landing. Not quite finding the full knock here. Keeping an eye on the elimination feed as well. Visible. I'm gonna take the risk. I'm gonna maybe do some caster cursing. And it's actually Grouchy Ethan Kitty. This is the player that was on the receiving end of some of those Royman shots, if I am not mistaken. So seeing how they're going to try to respond to the situation, they're actually dropping dangerously lower, getting knocked here. And we'll just have to see how the duo is going to respond to that one. We're back over to Roy Main now, getting healed up. Neos, they've re-synced up together, Visible, working together here. And I mean,
yeah, as you're talking about, that split was just... not many teams are able to really pull that off that cleanly.
And to be able to
a lot of teams that kind of play on top of each other. Yeah, just always in sync, always with the communication, able to split up, converge on targets, and play their life. Playing their life is so important, so underrated. You don't have to frag out all the time. Just keeping the HP at a decent level is always beneficial. Quite an interesting position here for Pavloman and Link.
Pavloman does
in on them now. I think gets the knock there. A little bit of a delay in the death animation, but gets the knock and get some points for themselves.
Again, that's a new one for us today. You know, add one to the Fortnite Spectator, which giveth and taketh. Of course, it gives us the opportunity to watch these players, but still a nice shot landing from Pavloman to find that knock. Void Terminal now dropping back in for the reload and taking a ton of damage. Visible doesn't even get to touch the ground before getting knocked there. Pavloman working for this room. Can he do it again? We just saw it happen a moment ago. This time they are on the receiving end of much damage, and they are going to get fully knocked there and eliminated. I'm thinking that might be TikTok Domain that ended up with that elimination. Trying to quickly scroll through our players here. I don't see them at this time. So right now we're hanging out with OG Leon and 2AM Clouds in the high ground position. If I'm not mistaken, this is a Roughnecks red roster, but we will get confirmation of that soon. And this is a good opportunity for them, Visible. You know, I feel like we've been spectating a ton of chaos. But now, this opportunity to get some additional loot, take a breath, and maybe start to care about the map a little bit. I mean, look at how congested Tilted Towers has been on this first opening here. I mean, it's as congested as it was all those seasons ago when it first was introduced to the game. Roy Main here, still actually maybe the player to be watching, because it looks like they are still involved in some chaos. We'll kick it over to TikTok Domain of the Carolina Storm Academy.
Let's see what they're wanting to do here. They got the elimination on Pavloman and company, so they're probably feeling pretty good about themselves. I like their position, both on the standings and of course in the game at the moment. They're in not the absolute top spot, but they're approaching that podium position, really making big moves is what they're hoping to here today. Make some big moves on the leaderboard, try to catch up a little bit. Playing the edge of the circle here, has someone in their sights. Actually, I don't know if that's a teammate, and we're just not seeing the
I
teammate.
can't
there we go. Okay.
quite tell as well. Yeah, okay. Yeah, username there. That is going to be a teammate. That's going to be TikTok Josh, Josh1X. You can assume that if we're talking about Josh1X or Domain 2X, they're already plugging their TikTok for you. So if that's your platform of choice, go support these players. I have no idea what they post on their content, so hopefully they're not they're making me regret that. But I'm sure it's just them fragging out in Fortnite. Neos, as we can see there, getting an elimination. I think Roy Main was on that elimination feed as well. So we know that the Fortniters are still around. And it's a little bit of a storyline to follow here, is this Fortniters versus Carolina Storm Academy. Not only because they're two of our top teams in the lobby according to our standings right now, but also because that's how this match started, Visible. Those two teams were going head-to-head, and the Fortniters kind of missed out on an opportunity. They fully eliminated one player, but it's reload. You got to take out both, and that opportunity that they missed out on may bite them, as the Carolina Storm Academy, they're getting a little athletic here, looking to get into the mix, shredding some builds here, Visible. Are they going to be able to find the damage they're looking for? This is a big commitment, third-party opportunity taking place as well.
Trying to approach now, gets the little grapple hook up right on top.
Goodness.
Destroys Nextrev there. TikTok domain. What an incredible play there, and does it with really not a CQC style weapon, but gets the result nonetheless.
Let's see, it's athleticism. If that's a word that we're ever allowed to use in esports, it's for a play like that. I mean, grappling on. A little bit of an IQ play here too, building a platform here to snag the crate as it's dropping in, taking the loot for themselves. It's a good deal, especially those impulse nades. If there's a team that I think deserves these impulse nades, it might just be the Carolina Storm Academy. They're using those mobility tools. Look at the damage coming out right now. Spectator make it look a little less satisfying, I know, but those shots are landing, as we can hear through the audio indicator, and another shot landing, Visible. Close range here. That's going to crack the armor of that player. Not sure who's on the receiving end, but right now Carolina Storm Academy, they are dishing out loads of damage.
And really making quick work of every team they're jumping on top of here. They seem just in a really not. Oh, it gets Neos there. That's a big pick. Neos is a very one of our top dogs in this lobby at the moment, and in the AAA and the league in general. So big time kill there. Can they get the finish? They're gonna have to kind of wrap this area up a little bit. You don't want to get third-partied here. This is a very easy time to get third-partied as the final circle's kind of closing in on us.
Oh, and that's actually going to be it. It's Roy Main, Visible. Roy Main taking out the last remaining player of the Carolina Storm Academy here. And again, Neos is actually knocked right now, and Roy Main gets the pickup. I know he was standing, but Fortnite is just playing a little prank on us. But that's massive, Visible. I mean, that's the conclusion of the storyline I was talking about. They finished it, right? The Fortniters started it so early with that knock onto Domain 2X. They didn't find the full elimination there, but they were able to do it here very late in the game. We're down to just a number of teams. I mean, look at this mini-map. It is congested and claustrophobic right now. And right now, I kind of want to check out OG Leon's position here, because they seem to be very central, Visible. It's an impulse nade to burst out, looking for a big opportunity. Almost saw it. I saw the window, but it's not entirely closed yet.
Here we go. OG Leon, I'm not loving... I love the initial move. Now in a little bit of a spot. I don't like being on bottom in terms of where we are at in the hierarchy of the structure here. It just always makes me a little bit nervous.
It's awkward.
That we're about to get jumped on, but yeah. Has some opportunities still. Searching out. Sometimes a little bit hard to tell what exactly is happening. We know the circle's coming in. Gonna get another boogie bomb down.
And a big grapple, too. This is a huge rotation coming through for Clouds and Leon at this time. They're just looking for the opportunity to do the damage. It's not quite landing. There it is, actually. Finding the shots on the Cambu mid-air. That is a fun sight to see for Leon. Getting that elimination Visible. We're down to just our final two duos here, Cloud and Leon. And I believe if it has to be Neos. It is. It's Neos and Roy Main, Visible, who are on the other end of this, trying to play for the first victory royale of game day number 3. Neo's dropping dangerously low, trying to work out of this high ground position, but not quite finding the opening to do damage. Gonna bounce around between our players here. Roy Main has a player boxed up. This is dangerous. Big shots landed. Doesn't quite get the knock, but does find it onto Leon through the air. Visible. Roy Main with a spectacular shot there, and now looking airborne to do it once more. Big damage landing. There's the full knock onto Leon, and it looks like that is going to be the victory royale going in the direction of the Yarks Fortniters. All right, everybody, we are loading into game number 2 here. We just saw a spectacular match there, especially if you are a Yarks Fortniters fan. I mean, that may have been Visible one of the most action-packed games of Fortnite that we've gotten to see. We know the reload format likes to give us these very, very exciting matches to watch, but that was something else.
Yeah, that I mean the every single moment in the last what it was like 3 or 4 minutes of non-stop, one team coming out on top of the other, changing sides, changing angles, exchanging kills. Really thought the Yarks Fortniters were in trouble whenever the pick came down onto Neos, but they were able to recover. It's that this new mode that really kind of lends to a little bit of a more exciting end game, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Absolutely, yeah. Things get very, very chaotic. It really benefits those teams that are able to adapt, that are very adaptable and able to make those game time decisions. So, hanging out right now, I believe this is Yark's Team Z, Grouchy, Ethan, Kitty, and Focused Slayer 28. Gotta hand it to Team Z. They are a team that is persistent. They're always putting in consistent games. We don't see them finishing, on the podium every round, but that makes it all the more exciting when we do see it happen. And they're known to pop off and make it happen every now and again. Also, Grouchy, Ethan, Kitty, definitely a leader in the Yarks organization as well. A very, very strong Fortnite organization here at the AEA. So great to see these players gearing up for a game here in game number 2. And hopefully they have a good run here. Now, who had a fantastic run? That'd be your Yarks Fortniters, Roy Main, and Neos. And it looks like they're actually onto something right now. I didn't realize that was what was going on. I thought Neos was taking a little bit of sightseeing visible, but that's a quick limb on Delinko Stinko.
Yeah, always amazing. They sniff out danger really, really well, and they respond to it quickly. A team can barely even register they're in the area, and sometimes they're already making the jump, making the move. Dangerous team for that reason, and the reason they're so decorated in our league and so celebrated. Certainly a team to emulate. Oh my goodness.
Not
okay.
sure. Pavloman might have been in the settings menu. I am really hopeful that they still have a reboot. I hope that duo for Pavloman was alive. I'm not exactly sure if that was the Linko. That might be the Linko Stinko duo, and that would be a little bit unfortunate. But although Linko might have been already redropped, so hopefully Pavloman is not all the way out of it. That's a little bit of an unfortunate way to go, but you got to keep your head on a swivel. You can't hang out. It's game time.
It is indeed game time, and gotta every second counts. So you gotta keep moving. I mean, a team like this, you stay still for too long. Apparently, if you stay still for even a second, you're in a lot of trouble. So
you're found out. Yep, they do not waste any time. The Yarks Fortniters. That is certainly the case. We hear some more shots in the area, so this might be another exciting opening. Almost curious if we could see this from the Roy Main perspective, who's really up close and personal to the fight. But I'm going to hold on to the Neos angle here, see if we're going to get an engage. Really, Neo's now hanging out, so I'm not sure what's going on with some of these players right now. But here's Ethernex, who is getting engaged on. That has to be Roy Main making the jump. Actually, it's not, so this is a separate skirmish visible. Shots not landing in too aggressive of a way until then. Very low HP for Ethernex here, who has to try to find a quick escape. It's not going to happen. Shot in the back there. It was Roy Main visible. I just had the skin wrong. Roy Main did find that elimination, and now we're going to have to see if they're able to find a second one, as Roy Main has a player boxed up. It's a bad place to be. Visible, I don't want to be in Roy Main's box. I don't know about you. But right now, one player is going to have to figure out how to work from that position. And there's the full knock for Void Terminal.
And look at the confidence. Both Neos and Roy Main at absolutely no HP. And still operating under control. A lot of danger, though, right now. Got to be a little bit nervous. You can see not really getting the shakies. Not too nervous, though. Just clean gameplay. Even in the face of all that adversity, of all that challenge, just does not matter for them.
And Visible, I want to commend Ethernex, but I think we have to stay locked in on the fight here because another duo is still in the mix, and Roy Main is pressured to get some quick healing off. I mean, we're watching box fights right now, and that has to be Domain 2X. Who else? Who else is rocking the alien skin in the AEA Fortnite competition? It was 2X from the Carolina Storm Academy getting that a limb. I'm gonna have to try and find out. I think that might be a full fall there for Yarks Fortniters. A lot went down, Visible, a lot to unpack. First of all, Yarks Fortniters finding that a limb onto, I believe that was Void Terminal, as well as Ethernex, who put up a good fight. You know, they were in there fighting with one of the top teams out of the Yarks Fortniters, but unfortunately for the Fortniters, they didn't get a stabilize. And Carolina Storm Academy, they kind of took maybe that third-party approach. It looks like Neos is still up, Visible, so I'm speaking a little bit too soon on their demise. but still, Carolina Storm Academy able to come out on top in that situation.
Kind of skirting the circle a little bit. We don't get great intel on where we're at.
We don't get a map this game. No map this game.
Yep.
But again, a giveth and a taketh. Here's our second place finishers from that previous match. Can you confirm with me if this is our Roughnecks Red roster? OG Leon and 2 AM Clouds. They put on a great show for us all the time.
This is the Roughnecks Red.
Roughnecks Red, and they finished in second here, and they're looking to get some good picks out right now. Not quite finding what they were looking for, but receiving shots from another angle. So Clouds and Leon, it looks like a decisive engagement, pushing onto this duo that's just to their side. But Leon's head on a swivel. Got some opponents in the backline as well. So this is a little bit chaotic. Not finding the big shots they need. There's a little bit of damage coming out, and there's a full knock. Grouchy Ethan Kitty and Focus Slayer 28 gonna fall. That's Yark's Team Z out of it for this round. But that's why we got 4 rounds visible coming back in Game 3, and maybe they'll end up on top there. But for now, it's the Roughnecks Red with a couple points in their pocket. Make it 9 visible. Make it 9 points in their pocket. You see the elimination counts on these players?
Holy. Yeah, no, that's one way of making an impression early on in the day. You're talking Game 2 of a 4-game set, and you're putting up numbers, not just with the getting to the last couple squads, but putting up the kills. The kills do matter. They chip away at the lead, that's for sure, and then also secure it if you're up at the top. Not good enough in our league to coast. You've got to be performing really every single round. Like not a lot of rounds to spare.
Oh, look at this!
The top teams are doing what they're doing. I love the movement. I love these little grenades they're bouncing around with.
And pulse nades, man, they're the best.
Yes. I missed the boogie bombs though. Where are my boogie
Where's the boogie bomb? Where's the boogie bomb? You know what? You don't need a boogie bomb to boogie if your Josh1X finds that a nice little elimination on the horizon. Not sure if Domain found the duo there. I know there's some shots taking place, trying to follow along with that kill feed as well. I see Nextrev getting knocked in an entirely separate fight, but Domain 2X still head on a swivel here, looking for an opportunity. Shots landing onto the builds, but I think they would like the cranium of the opposing player taking some damage themselves. Carolina Storm Academy not quite finding the opening, but here and alive and well visible.
We're looking at Carolina Storm have been making a big impression here. Oh, golden pistol action? Did I see a?
Oh, is that right?
I see we picked it up. I don't know if
that might be it.
Domain got it.
Oh, he's holding the handgun. There's a couple of things we like. Visible gave you guys a hint a moment ago. It'd be the boogie bomb. We love a boogie bomb. Don't get to see it too often nowadays. Love a boogie bomb, but we also love some handheld action. Something like a deagle hitting a shot. I mean, come on. What's more satisfying? That and like sniper rifles, which, you know, the competitive player base is angry at me, but as a spectator, give it to me. Let me watch it all day. These players hit some incredible shots with those types of weapons. So we'll see if Domain, coming in with the grappler here, is going to be able to find a nice shot with the hand cannon. And it's actually maybe an SMG type gun. It's not necessarily a deagle, but it's all good. We'll see. It's still just as satisfying visible.
I saw boost reset go down there from the Miami Merchants. Cam just went down from NCAA Gold. Domain just popping.
That player we
try harder
saw.
there.
Yeah, we barely saw him. I don't know if that's either
Fortunate for the Roughnecks Gold, but yeah, just barely.
We'll bounce around a little bit.
The camera exploded.
Yeah. Nextrev and Cambu with the rotation here. They're near the shots that we're hearing, and they're coming from 200 IQ Dread and 2 AM Dog, who we actually aren't allowed to spectate right now. They're not dead. They're still there. They're just hiding from our camera at this time. So we'll stick with Clouds and Leon of the Roughnecks Red. They've been a good show for us up to this point. We know they're in the area of Carolina Storm Academy, so some strong rosters here. I actually think I might have just seen... yeah, that's Josh1X getting an elimination on the Ketchup. A couple of nice shots there. Man, hitting at those on the moving target like that. It's good shots here coming out from Clouds. And look at the positioning visible. This is positioning I like to see. It's good fundamental location. Probably waiting for some information from the map, which they have access to, and we happen to not. And here's the engage. Smart rotation.
Yeah, hurting the resources of the other team is so underrated. Just getting poken from long range, to borrow a term from other esports. Challenging now the structure of Ketchup, and Ketchup is going to fall. Unsure about Ketchup's duo though. And Ketchup, of course, of Wolfpack Black, so Benjamin Rush is out there somewhere.
Yeah.
either I didn't see an insta down, so it looks like Benjamin Rush will be around looking for that revive, get the squad, get the duo back together, maybe challenge the rest of the match.
Exactly. OG Leon, look at that. I mean, these teams make. Oh my goodness, Visible, words don't matter anymore. We're just watching a masterpiece unfold. Cambu gets knocked, and now that's going to be a duo left alone against Roughnecks Red. That's a tough place to be. Big shot landing, and that is going to be the full elimination coming through onto Nextrev as well. So Cambu and Nextrev have been eliminated. Visible, just as I wanted to hype up the Roughnecks Red, they show you exactly why they're worth the hype.
They've been impressive today. We've seen quite a bit of them too. So when we're looking at a team performing this well early on, we're gonna have to watch them really the rest of the day. Keep a close eye on them. You see the building prowess of the team they're challenging. I couldn't quite catch the name.
I know, I'm not sure who's taking the damage right now, but I'm glad it's not me. I'm not looking to be on the receiving end of this onslaught. Although they're doing a fantastic job, just like you said. Great builds, great movement, keeping them alive through this damage. And one thing about it, Visible, is this is drawing a lot of attention, right? So there's aggressive teams in this lobby. The Carolina Storm Academy, they're here. We might even have the Fortniters still alive in the mix, and so this could get very sketchy. 2 AM Clouds getting knocked here by not by OG Leon, of course, that's the duo, trying to just hold back the suppressive fire. I'm not sure exactly the team. It's the Carolina Storm Academy, as Josh 1X is getting revived, excuse me, by Domain 2X, who just hit that fantastic shot to send the Roughnecks down to just a solo for their red roster here.
Yeah, and Carolina Storm Academy, also a squad that has been on our radar really all day so far today. Been impressive, to say the least. We get a little bit of downtime, some rare downtime, seemingly so late in the match. Can't quite see the state of the map. It's kind of going to build some anticipation, shall we say? So it's a feature. It's a bug feature.
Absolutely.
We don't know where in the world we're about to be challenged from. If we're Carolina Storm Academy spectators, and right now we are. Do know there's a team down here. Not sure if it's 1 or 2, but they're just constant rebuild action. They're going to try to reposition, and they get a harder structure, so maybe get a little bit of time to themselves. I do worry a little bit about where we're at right now. They're not, apparently. They're going to make a move. They're going to try to eliminate whoever is in this building. I think it's a solo,
I think
so
it is as well.
very unfortunate and gets dropped. Alpha Esports goes down.
That was probably Wolfpack Red, if I was a guessing man. It could have been our other player from Wolfpack Black. But regardless, Visible, what I've just noticed is we are down to 3 teams and 4 players, which means there are 2 solos running around, and then there is the Carolina Storm Academy already with 9 points in their pocket from eliminations alone, and they have the advantage situation coming in to these last couple of fights. The aggression coming through from the confidence that they have. Visible, so much confidence is the only duo remaining. They just have to sniff out these 2 final solos, and they will be on top. But let's find out who are these solos. 200 IQ Dread, that's one of them. And OG Leon was the other, but they have fallen victim to the laser beam that is anytime Domain 2X has an assault rifle. And so it's up to 200 IQ Dread. A 1 versus 2 situation, but if they were ever going to make the hero story happen, now would be the time. Big shots on the receiving end. Going to have to find their way to work out of this box and make up the deficit, Visible. Resetting.
Trying to make their moves.
Lower position.
Right now, Dread. CEA Platinum.
And it's gonna be second place for the North Carolina Platinum. A solid position, absolutely, but it's a victory royale for North Carolina Storm Academy. All right, everybody, and we are getting right into game number 3 here, and right into the action as we're catching up with the Roughnecks Red. Visible, Leon is already knocked. We are right into it with game 3.
Yeah, why waste any time when you can just jump right into the action? And, well, 2 AM Clouds, Leon, they've been a duo here for the Roughnecks Red. Formidable knocks down Romaine.
Yeah, this is a big fight.
And if they can find Neo's here, this is huge.
This would be massive, especially since Leon is already back into the action. That's the reload situation, but if it, honestly, Visible, we're just seconds away from Romaine being lifted back up, so we're going to rack up potentially a lot of eliminations as these 2 Goliaths just throw punches back and forth at one another. Again, at this point, I believe Romaine would be back to standing. Neo's now knocked. And so Neos gets the full elimination, but you have to assume that Roymain is right on the outskirts, possibly just looking for the duck and run scenario visible. That's probably my approach. You're going to have to lick your wounds and fight another day. But again, the thing about these early fights, especially these early fights between very mechanically competent teams like the Arcs Fortniters and like Tulsa Roughnecks Red, I think you got to go for the gusto. You got to try to find both of those players to eliminate. That way your late game is just a little bit easier, because would you rather take them out early or would you rather take them out late visible? It's going to make that late game a lot easier if your Yarks Fortniters aren't around. Just for the Yarks Fortniters as it would if the Roughnecks weren't around, right? So maybe a missed opportunity, but you know, you have a few points in the pocket if nothing else.
I think if you can deal with them early, you're wanting to jump for joy, quite frankly. This is a huge moment for them to get some pretty fantastic rivals of theirs out of the picture early on.
Absolutely. Overall, a strong opening here for Roughnecks Red. Again, we just jumped into the action, right, with them in somebody else's box about, but surviving, healthy, and they're going to rotate into the action here. We'll move around a little bit. We got Jay Strikers and Void Terminal on the outskirts of Tilted Towers. It was fun to open up today's match day on Tilted Towers, but they've set their eyes a little bit to the east as they're keeping tabs on a couple of different duos, but not committing visible. Looks like they have options here.
Yeah, I'm trying to see Void Terminal here. This is NCEA Navy, just for the record. With Strikers, Void Terminal, and then they have two other players on roster. I want to shout out EtherNext and Citizen-521.
Yeah, we've seen a little bit of gameplay from EtherNext today as well. EtherNext, I didn't get to talk about it because it was so chaotic last time, but EtherNext was in a skirmish and was eliminated. Duo's still in the skirmish. Ethernext wasted no time. As soon as that reload came through, he was instantly in and helping out his duo. What in the world from Josh1X? That initial shot on the Hogleg Killa, run it back. I would love to see that in action again. We're just going to get the instant replay, but on a different player, as Falker's Rider is eliminated as well. And, I mean, what is going on? Josh1X has, I mean, a sixth sense for this game, just being able to sniff out those players so quickly. We tuned onto them a bit late visible. Maybe they had seen some of these positions as we were tuning over, or, you know, obviously they're listening. They have the footstep indicators, but from the spectator position, my goodness, that was a spectacular couple of shots.
Yeah, fantastic play. Carolina Storm Academy has been all over the screen today, dominating, playing extremely well. Exciting to see just multiple teams on stream today playing high caliber Fortnite.
Absolutely.
We're kind of bouncing around a little bit, and this is sort of the downtime of the game. I'm sort of just now getting used to the new mode. It still feels very fresh, very new to me here at the AEA. It's still a little bit bizarre to me. Oh my goodness.
Neos is the one.
I was not aware there's a fight approaching.
I didn't either. Again, those indicators, those footstep indicators that you get when you're playing the game, those are a valuable tool. Almost need them as spectators too. 200 IQ Dread. I mean, this is going to be the North Carolina Platinum roster. Is that right?
That is correct.
All right, perfect. So, I mean, that's a big elimination on to Neos. Maybe we can get a quick check. We got the map. Shout out the map here as we are in, as we're in game number 3. I do see Roymain still alive and kicking, which means Neos is back up. But look at this. That's got to be Carolina Storm Academy visible. I think we're taking shots onto Josh1X right now. Roymain takes a couple of shots and then gets the loot in between. But now they're stuck in the middle of a couple of different duos. The mini-map is looking quite chaotic right now as Neos does drop again. We're going to bounce over to this fight.
Lazy laps. We get a good little map view there. Okay, we'll start getting our bearings. And this is an AI. I'm not getting... Is that actually not an AI?
No, absolutely
not.
Okay,
it was.
No, it's just a visual bug where it looks like they're maybe standing still as they come.
I thought that was one of the fish guys that kind of roam around.
But Baphomet is in trouble because that is the Carolina Storm Academy. I believe that was Josh1X of the Carolina Storm Academy. Somehow not engaging in a fight here. Again, I have to wonder sometimes with the spectator. But in any case, as we settle down with Pavloman and Linko Stinko. It looks like Linko Stinko's actually found the knock on the A-Blade.
Getting a little bit of a rotation now. We have teams, a lot of teams up here at Tilted. Just congregating up here. Not sure if we're going to get a fight shortly. It looks like we have a fight over there by Domain. Yeah, a lot of health bars moving around. TikTok Josh and TikTok Domain going at it. Going at it with another squad.
Not exactly sure who they're up against right now. We'll find out pretty quickly, as actually it's OG Leon. It's the Roughnecks Red visible. They've eliminated Domain 2X, which means Josh is all alone. Gonna have to try to find a little bit of an outside rotation here. Waiting. Domain should get the reload very briefly. Unless we are already at the stage. It might be reloads of... Nope, there is the reboot. So Domain 2X back up and standing. Just goes to show you why you got to be aggressive. Here's Josh with an engage now. Finding some big shots onto the mats, putting a lot of pressure out. Taking some piece control as well, visible. It's a box fight as Horizon is going to get knocked here and make it a full elimination onto Horizon in favor of Josh 1X. A good little bit moment here to stabilize. Let's go over to 2 AM Clouds and Leon. It's the Roughnecks Red sharing a little bit of a mansion here with another team, trying to crack it down and get into some damage, but not quite making it happen. Impulse nade. Leon's not ready to leave, bouncing right back into the action. A little bit of a shot landing there, visible. Has to try to find their way up onto this structure, taking some damage, not able to do too much of a significant amount until then. Linko Stinko is going to get knocked.
Not bad at all. Leon and 2 AM Clouds on a different level here today, and gets another one. Takes down Linko Stinko right there. Leon taking some damage now, having to try to outbuild the shots on target. Clouds going around to flank, try to get a little bit, relieve the pressure a little bit, getting some shields. Okay.
It's Josh 1X without a limb, which means this is Carolina Storm Academy versus the Roughnecks Red. I mean, we've seen this fight a couple of times today. These teams, phenomenal opponents against one another, and it's gonna be Josh 1X coming out on top this time on the back of a very well-timed shot there in the box. A little bit of a visual. Again, they like to prank us. Fortnite, just a couple of pranksters. That's what Fortnite is. We're down to 5 duos visible very quickly here in game 3. Pavloman on an island is I believe the last remaining solo. Shots landing here onto A-Blade. They do have Horizon rebooted. We saw Horizon get knocked previously, but again, the reload. Got to take out the duo. One thing that these teams are learning very quickly this season. Shots landing now from A-Blade onto this structure. Good unison from the duo. I believe they're taking shots onto Pavloman, the solo, our one roaming solo in the lobby at this time. I believe Pavloman's a solo. Let's find out. Let's do a little bit of movement here. Roy Main's alone. I think visible. We might be at the point where reboots are turned off as it happens in the late game. So that would actually mean that we have a couple of solos running around. And now it's actually North Carolina Storm Academy. They've found A-Blade visible, and they get that knock onto them. Pavloman is stuck as a solo here. Looking at the minimap, though, no opponents nearby. We're down to a final 4. And so let's get a count here. Can you remind me of our roster here for Pavloman?
So Pavloman is a classic team here. It's the FaZe Rainbow Clan.
Heck yeah, FaZe
alongside,
Rainbow,
of course,
Unicorn
Linko
Clan.
Stinko.
Or FaZe Unicorn Rainbow Clan, I believe. I don't know. Either way, great team name. Fantastic team name. We got Roy Main. That's going to be our Yarks Fortniters. Of course, we have the Carolina Storm Academy alive and healthy as a duo here. And oh my goodness, visible. Do you see that number next to Josh 1X's name?
He's been putting in a little work.
Make it a 15 bomb,
oh
Pavloman. Hello, good morning, and good night to Pavloman. Unfortunate situation for them, but my goodness, a 15 bomb for Josh 1X. It's a different level for this team today. 200 IQ Dread, 2 AM Dog. It's the North Carolina Platinum roster as well. Very talented rosters making up our podium here. Our final 3 for Game 3 of our match day today.
And what else do you really need to see from the PUC, FaZe Unicorn Clan, also known as the FaZe Rainbow Clan? There's some dogs. And speaking of dogs, we're here with 2 AM Dog. Yeah. And 200 IQ Dread of NCEA Platinum also have made some noise. Today, here in the last circle, we've got these 3 teams, 1 solo.
Impulse.
definitely a calmer
Wait.
experience in the last little bit. We're getting the action just now kicking off.
Calmness before the storm, perhaps. Visible with 200 IQ Dread does not come out on top of that rotation. That's going to leave 2 AM Dog as a lone wolf. Pun intended, absolutely. As the rotation comes there, I was stun locked by my own genius there.
I heard it. And I was like, I don't even want to give a chuckle. I want him to just experience it.
Right.
Just have it. Let it breathe a little bit.
Unfortunately,
Breathing now.
Yeah.
Is 2 AM Dog. You like
That's
that
true.
transition?
That's true.
200 IQ Dread is
Not...
down. It's a solo against the duo, and I'm
oh no,
not
Visible.
Oh wow. Yeah,
I feel like I stopped all over that finale, but it's going to be another victory round. Carolina Storm Academy. Oh, they can take on everything except the casters. Caster cursed 27 limbs. Visible. What a great round for them in game 3. All right, Visible. Just as quickly as it gets started, it seems that it's coming to an end. We're getting into game number 4, our final game day for the 3rd match of the Spring Series Fortnite competition. We're hanging out with Wolfpack Red, is that correct? We got Hardcase here.
Hardcase and looking like a solo, unless we have a little bit of a spectator bug.
I do know that Wolfpack
is typically their duo.
A lot of damage taken there. I do know that Wolfpack Red had to play the day as a solo, unfortunately. Sometimes teams are tasked with that, and it's a big responsibility. It feels like a big deal to hold your entire duo's points all on your own, right? You're responsible for that. But I think Hardcase is going to rise to the occasion here. You know, being able to consistently put up points, whether that's through placement or picks, even if you are a solo. It's possible. We've seen some talented players do that. So we'll keep an eye on Hardcase throughout this game. We also have Falkers Rider and Contender 120. So Falkers here, is this the Irons or maybe the Mammy Merchants? I think we're hanging out with
Mammy Merchants.
The Mammy Merchants, one of the best names in the league. Absolutely. Contender with the pistol here, looking to get the shots. Nice little shot there. It's close quarters combat. Visible. Nobody getting a decisive head start in this fight quite yet, but this is a sticky situation in the box, dropping dangerously low, and there is going to be that final below there coming on from Roymain. But, you know, truthfully, Visible, that was a good showing. We don't always see the Mammy Merchants in, like, these last circle scenarios, which is where we commonly see the Arcs Fortniters. Roymain, a very mechanically well-off player, and it took him some time to take down Contender. Contender got a little bit of a lick back in there as well. A nice shot landing. So, well, that's, I don't know, maybe we still have a solo alive for the Mammy Merchants. Maybe we'll see the reload come through. Not a horrible start for them. Obviously not ideal, but still points to the pocket for Roymain, who is a solo right now, it seems.
Yeah, where's our
where's
partner in
Neos?
crime?
Where's Neos? Where the Arcs Fortnite?
I think our last.
Oh, it is Contender again.
Here we go. Oh, Contender 120. Unfortunately, almost a spawn kill. I will say though, Contender 120 has maybe my favorite skin in the game.
It's a good skin.
It's fantastic. It's so cute.
It's a good skin.
It has to be said.
I wish the casters could. Why don't we just give out points? Why is that not a thing? I wish that could be the case. Falkers Rider.
Style points. Multiplier.
Falkers Rider also has a pretty baller skin. I mean, these guys are here to play right now. Contender
feels like as close to a quote unquote pay to win skin as you can get.
I like it.
I don't think it actually visually helps you much at all, but it's very funny.
That's...
Oh, here we go. It did not, in fact, help.
Roymain. Oh, Roymain has found the elimination onto the Mammy Merchants there. I appreciate what Falkers Rider was doing, because you have to stay alive. That's the thing about this game. You have to stay alive to make sure your duo can get rebooted. So Falkers Rider, as soon as Contender goes down, knows that he has to play the slow game, but Roymain, very talented and able to sniff that out there. And we're headed out with Carolina Storm Academy, Joshua Next Domain 2X. Hanging out here in Paradise Palms, and look at the laser beam. Visible. Joshua X has cracked that player's armor, certainly looking to do the final blow. Coming in through the back door, breaking through the mats. Shots taken a little bit there. 2 AM Dog, definitely a formidable opponent on the other side, but it's going to be Josh 1X coming out on top and forced to heal up right now. Probably going to give 2 AM Dog that opportunity to reboot. And while that happens, we're hanging out with the Beatiest Hawk and Try Harder. a great name there for Try
And
Harder.
we are Tulsa Roughnecks Gold here, and I believe first time on stream today.
Yeah, this would be our first appearance for Roughnecks Gold today. That's pretty good, and it looks like BDS has actually eliminated Focus Slayer, so they're feeling pretty good visible in match number 4 already with one of the points secured. Let's hang out with them for a second. Let's see what Try Harder and BDS Hawk are able to get done coming from a club like the Roughnecks. I mean, the Tulsa Roughnecks location, of course, home to the Roughnecks Red roster, currently a podium, sitting on the podium for the entire Fortnite competition. A formidable club with formidable players. Good things absolutely could happen here for the Roughnecks Gold. What are they going to be able to make happen? And it's actually going to start with a knock coming on from the receiving end of Roy Main visible. So that's sketchy. Try Harder looking to get out. This would be a good live. Barely not able to happen visible. Again, Try Harder trying to live there just long enough to see BDS Hawk get rebooted, but it's not going to happen. And just as we hype up the Roughnecks Gold roster, Roy Main steals that hype for themselves for the Yarks Fortniters. A couple of points in the pocket as well. Solo with 9 points visible. That's a formidable place to be.
Scary, very scary indeed. But liking what we see from their squad. I think the skin is very cute too. I like that. I really love the long hair. Really cool.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I haven't seen this one. Don't know what character this is.
Take over the
could be an
opponents
original.
in style, man. You got to take them out
Yep.
in style. Our players are all too familiar with that. A little bit of activity here on the side. 200 IQ Dread has become aware of that. It's almost stalking the opponent, coming in with the impulse nade. That's an aggressive engage. It might be Roy Main, if I'm not mistaken, in the same box as 200 IQ Dread, and they find the knock, but 2 AM Dog is still alive. Man, and every time, Visible, these early fights, it's so challenging. As soon as you get one dropped, this is what you want to do, because look at the bottom left. 200 IQ Dread, currently eliminated with the X. Boom. And I said, boom, there it is. It's going to be respawn, 100 HP. That's the reload. So that's kind of the meta play styles you want to live. But Roy Main is able to kind of abuse that reality and, I mean, get away with murder with those high-speed engages coming through with impulse. With the impulse nade, getting a pick, running away. That's a point in the pocket. And Roy Main is racking up the points on a very good strategy right now in the early game.
Yeah, it's not bad, is it? And as we're transitioning sort of late mid game, we're taking a look at what this final circle has in store for us. We get to see a couple different looks from a couple different teams in this last round, changing some things up strategy wise, position wise. And don't mind seeing that at all. Really happy for the teams when they're able to kind of change stuff up and over the course of the day see improvement. It's very hard to improve in the course of a single session. But if you can see it, if you're last place in that first round or bottom 3, and you can just kind of work your way up a couple spots over the course of the day, I think you can go home with your head held high. It's such an interesting age group for the games, right? And everyone comes in with different levels of experience, so you can't measure yourself up necessarily against the top performance. You want to come in with an open mind and say, you know what, this is where we're at, and this is where we want to be. So if you can make a couple steps forward every single day, it's cool to see these players making that progress live.
Nextrev has to make some progress into the inside of the circle. He knew it was going to be sketchy. Got a couple of impulse nades to hopefully help out, but this is tough. Visible. I mean, we're in the middle of a valley trying to traverse through the water. The impulse nades coming in absolutely massive right now, and look at this. Nextrev able to get synced back up with Cambu on the high ground. I did not think that was going to go that way. But yeah, Visible, I entirely agree. I mean, these players, really regardless of age. I mean, we have players, I believe that we have a 13-year-old Visible with scholarships on reserve waiting for them to make it to their higher educational institution of choice. I mean, they've been showing out from a young age. Some of them, they get there when they're 17. Doesn't really matter, right? I mean, they're all about the grind, playing Fortnite, and putting on a good show here every other Saturday, it seems. So Nextrev here looking to grab some loot out of the crate here. But look at that location on the map. A little bit centralized here. Things are getting a bit chaotic, and I'm just wondering what domino is going to fall first here. Nextrev, dead center of the map right now.
Dead center indeed. Look how many have survived this last circle, by the way. This is, I think the teams know, hey, this is it. This is the round.
Game 4, and nobody, I mean, shots coming out, I'd assume coming out, especially in the position that North Carolina, or excuse me, Tulsa Roughnecks red have, kind of local there. They're in the blue indicators on your map there. And really, I'm just waiting. Visible hard case here, still alive for Wolfpack Red. That's good to see. No major shots landing quite yet. A little bit of a rotation coming through from Ethernex and J Strikers. We'll see if they get caught out. We're just waiting, but Cambu and Nextrev synced up in the middle here. Let's tune in. Let's check out the J Strikers' point of view as they're making this rotation into the storm. A little bit sketchy, these rotations. Teams that are able to rotate effectively, an automatic advantage. Hit the head with the plunger, Visible. That I had not seen before. Still alive and well. Shots landing on other portions of the map as well. And look at it, Visible. Here's the motion coming through. We see a lot of movement taking place. Pavloman seems to be at the center of a lot of it, but J Striker's taking damage. Ethernex's going to have to dish them backward. At this point, Visible... It's
NCAA Navy making the last circle.
Yeah, we do like that.
What's out?
Absolutely. North Carolina Navy here. And, you know, running the subs, too. We like to see that. A good diversity in the rosters. We're about to have my suspicions confirmed. Storm 9 Visible, I don't think we have reboots available. J Strikers is more than likely down and out. It's possible that we might have reboots for maybe another 60 seconds or so. So we'll see. But it's very possible that Ethernex is on his own, and on his own right now for this fight he will be. Low HP, and it's going to be the knock coming through from hard case, Visible. I mean, unfortunate ending there for North Carolina Platinum, but Wolfpack Red, they've not made it to the podium today, and hard case might be able to make it happen.
Has as good a chance as any. Is going with more of the slower paced wait out game, obviously as just a solo tactical at this point. Yeah, I don't mind this at all. I don't mind this at all. I think you've got to go. You got to make a choice, and this is as good a choice as any at this point. I think it's a lot of pressure at the moment. So just if you can third party and get that into that last circle. Unfortunately, teams are kind of encroaching on the territory a little bit of hard case. It's going to be tough. I'm not seeing a very easy path forward, but certainly possible.
As soon as one of these players starts taking damage, we're flipping to their cam, Visible. I mean, this is anybody's engagement. It's Cambu that is going to be the first domino, potentially to fall, but you never know. This domino just might knock somebody else over. Cambu's taken a lot of damage, but not entirely in trouble yet. The thing is, Visible, committing is such a hard thing to do in this game state. How do you dive onto another team knowing that there's 3 other teams waiting for somebody to make a rotation, make a mistake, and open that window of opportunity? Cambu playing from the bottom, but definitely not entirely out of this one yet.
Cambu and, of course,
Nextrev.
Nextrev being down, just having to cheer on the teammate here, give him as much intel they can, some help. It looks like what a duo and then a bunch of singles, 3 singles and another duo there.
I
so
think we have at least
very odd number.
Yes, Royman does take out Pavloman, and Royman is of course a solo here. North Carolina Storm on top here, Storm Academy, putting so much pressure down, and that is going to be Cambu with the rotation here, taking a lot of damage. Still able to survive from this lower position. I think Storm Academy, they've had enough. They want in the box, and they are actually going to take out 2AM Dog. So somewhere in there I had missed up on who we were looking at, but 2AM Dog and 200 IQ Dread both eliminated now. So that's North Carolina Platinum, if I do recall correctly, out of this round. Big shots landing there from Domain 2X, and Josh has an additional angle here. We're down to 4 players, Visible, 3 squads, so you're absolutely correct. Once again, Carolina Storm Academy, the only duo remaining in the game. Roy Main is somewhere, potentially in this box, taking the damage. Let's find out. Hiding elsewhere, actually, so this is going to be Cambu still holding on, surviving. What's going to happen here? Is this just going to be a situation where Storm Academy spam from the high ground until they do finally break through? Cambu, another rotation. Roy Main, undetected, Visible.
Certainly what it appears like at the moment. I mean, I think those are really the best options. Just get the poke down. You don't have to overcommit, right? You have some time, you have some resources. I think usually the team at the top of the pile is having the best time at this point in the game. It's just a lot of pressure from all sides. So there isn't really a single one way about going about this, which is why this last little circle becomes so exciting when it's down to the last couple players here.
It's getting very chaotic. Somebody's got the impulse native. Was it Roymain visible with the aggressive play? We'll see it from Josh 1X's perspective as they are shredding mats, trying to break in. They want this to end. They need it to end now. And it is going to be the knock onto Roymain, who's going to secure third place finish for the Yarks Fortniters as a solo. It's impressive, but this game is not over yet. The duo for Carolina Storm Academy, they have to sniff out Cambu, and it's going to happen there. Cambu getting knocked by Josh 1X, and it's going to be a victory royale, 3 victory royales on the day for Carolina Storm Academy visible. They really did put it together today, and that actually leads us to being able to look at our updated standings here. So our standings now updated on the day, and look at that. Carolina Storm Academy, they are indeed on top, 262 points. They have they have exactly a 65-point lead over Roughnecks Red in second, and in our third place position, the Yarks Fortniters. Man, I mean, this is a close race for a good handful of teams, but Carolina Storm Academy, they're starting to really put themselves on top.
Yeah, and we have a lot of crowding in the top a little bit, but Carolina Storm Academy's performance today, as you said, just kind of separates them from the pack a little bit. We'll have to see in the coming matches. Does that gap get any smaller? Can that gap get any smaller? The way they're playing, I don't know. A lot of teams are gonna have to pick it up and go back to the drawing board with some stuff. But great performance from so many teams today, and something to shout out as well. I think teams nearer to the middle and to the bottom, I really thought the Irons, I thought the Mammy Merchants, Yarks Team Z, the PUC, the Rainbow Clan, of course, Unicorn Rainbow Clan, some of those teams really made a market improvement on the day. So there's been climbing all over the place. There's been some growth all over the place. So some fantastic Fortnite played
Yeah.
once again here at the AEA.
I think it's one of my favorite things. Like, I mean, looking at the Mammy Merchants, who are maybe just outside of our top 10 there, they're in seed 11, okay, and they have 40 points, 14 eliminations, right? 14 eliminations, it's obviously not at the same level where your Carolina Storm Academy or your Roughnecks Red, and I mean, they're nearly pushing 100 eliminations at this point. But then you look at North Carolina Navy, and North Carolina Navy has been able to rack up 80 points on 16 eliminations. And it goes to the fundamentals, sticking to the fundamentals of the game. North Carolina Navy, a team that has those strong fundamentals, and maybe emphasize racking up high elimination counts a little bit less, right? And of course, our top teams, they mix the two, but then you have a team like Mammy Merchants. They are just as lethal in the 11th position as a team that's in the 6th position. And so it's small adjustments that can be made anywhere on the standings that can really elevate your gameplay. And so these teams all have a ton to be fighting for. And you have that situation taking place at the same time as our second seed, Roughnecks Red, I think being incredibly comparable to North Carolina Gold. I think on a good day, Gold is taking out Red. And I think on a good day for Red, Roughnecks Red, they're taking out North Carolina Gold. And so that battle for that top section, again, Carolina Storm maybe putting themselves a little bit ahead right now. But as of today, that battle for the podium, the second and third place, is really, really tight visible.
Yeah, really, really tight. Exciting to see. Just the competitiveness of the league take a step up every single year. Always impressed with our kids. So
yeah,
great to watch.
And my last note about that would be that Carolina Storm Academy. I want to emphasize what I said. They're up today, but today's only match 3 visible. We have 2 more spectacular match days ahead in the coming weeks here in the spring series competition for AEA Fortnite. And yeah, these teams are hungry. You know, Roughnecks Red, they might be in second today, but I know they want to make up that ground. Wolfpack Red, a little bit below the podium right now. They're hungry. So many hungry teams. I count on these standings being shaken up week after week. And so if you want to see where these standings sit after our next match day, then be sure to tune in here in 2 weeks for more AEA Fortnite Visible. It was a pleasure casting with you today, and I can't wait to see more next time. Thank you, everybody. We will see you then.